Okay, wonderful. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Safe Street Smart Trips High School Video Contest Information Webinar. My name is Diane Hansen, and I'm the Program Director for the Massachusetts Safe Routes to School program. So just a few housekeeping items before we begin. Please keep yourself muted until Q&A. Live transcript is available for this meeting. You just have to click in your Zoom controls and enable that. Our operations manager, Leon, is our co-host. He's available to help with any technical questions. He's also going to be dropping some resources in the chat throughout the webinar. So links to the contest details, the guidebook, lots of great stuff. Even I believe we're putting in a PDF of this exact presentation. So make sure that you check the chat often and grab those resources. As you can see, the webinar is being recorded and will be available on our contest page shortly. So today we're going to take a look at how to submit a video, review some of the key points that are outlined in the submission guidelines in the submission form, talk about some previous winners and how to access their work on the roadway safety video page. We'll also talk about the prizes, what they look like, and if time permits, we'll do a Q&A. So today's the contest for this year is about being a bike-friendly driver. And what does that mean? Well, there are lots of details about what being a bike-friendly driver means in the guidebook, and I'm going to have Leon actually this is a brand new resource that's launching today. We're going to put it in the chat, and it is what it means to be a bike-friendly driver. So that means sharing the road with cyclists, understanding the road markings for bicycles, knowing the rules of the road, and being aware and being respectful. And you know what? Actually, being aware and being respectful of bicyclists should be at the top one. And when we get to next couple pages, we'll show that that's really the overarching theme of this contest. So roads are meant to be shared safely by everyone, whether you're driving, biking, walking, or rolling. And then doing your part to create a safe travel environment on the road, being aware, being cautious, especially on and around school grounds. So you can see there's lots of great detail here for you to be able to include in your videos. So what are we asking you to do? We are asking you to write and produce a 30 to 60-second video informing your friends and family and your local community members about how to be a bike-friendly driver. So keep in mind that winning videos may be used by MassDOT in future campaigns, marketing materials, maybe on the RMV site. So when you're creating these videos, think about that. We're asking for a public service announcement or a PSA. And again, the focus is on being a bike-friendly driver. So guidelines, these are very similar to the guidelines that we've had in previous years. You must be a registered Massachusetts public high school student during this current academic year. That is 2021 to 2022. You must be wearing a safety device. If you are driving in a car, so your seat belt. If you're riding a bike, you must be shown wearing a helmet and wearing the helmet properly. That means buckled, placed on your head the right way, not backwards. The only exception to that is if you are showing what not to do right in the video. You also must not mention the MassDOT name, the logo, the Safe Street Smart Trips logos. All of those will be placed on winning videos after the submission. So please don't use any of that. And most importantly, no copyrighted music, images, or videos. That is super important. So for eligibility, high school student, can't stress that enough. This year, students may submit works together or individually. So up to 5 students are allowed to submit, and but you can also submit by yourself. Prizes are awarded per video, not per student. So if you have a group of 5 students, you're all going to have to split the prize. If you elect to work with other students, you must follow your school's social distancing guidelines and health and safety precautions for COVID-19. So that's also really important. For submission, a school official must sign the registration form for any video submitted. We are allowing electronic signatures, so even just writing in script with the on the guidance document or the registration form is fine. If there are homeschool students participating, a parent or guardian can sign that registration form. This is the most important part. Videos must be received by 5 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, October 20th. So we use Dropbox just like we did last year, and that Dropbox is set to cut off at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, October 20th. So make sure that you have those videos in time. Videos again with commercial music, misspelled words, foul language, inappropriate actions as determined by the selection committee will be disqualified. So we're going to focus on this part a lot during this webinar. There are so many great videos that we've seen in the past that have been disqualified because of spelling errors. So we want to make sure that everything in your video is spelled correctly and that you're not using commercial music, because we do take out our phones and we hit Shazam and we find out if you grab music from somewhere, and a lot of great videos get disqualified for that. So towards the end of this webinar, I'm going to have Leon and Rachel, two folks on our team, actually talk about some of the things that we've seen and perhaps give some guidance to how to avoid that. So let's go back to what being a bike-friendly driver is and what we want to see in these videos. First and foremost, the video's overarching theme has to emphasize patience while driving and being mindful of other people's safety. So of just being respectful, that is the one thing that has to be in there. And then you do have to incorporate at least 2 of the details from the submission guidelines. There are 4 major parts to this. So knowing how bicycle communicate with hand signals, knowing the dangers of the door zone. The door zone, you can see a picture of it in the lower right-hand side. A lot of bicycle and vehicle accidents happen, or I should say crashes happen, when a driver is opening their car door because they're not looking. So there's a method called the Dutch reach where you actually use your right hand to open the door so that you can turn and see who is coming on the left-hand side. There are lots of resources for you to take a look and see what the Dutch reach means, but this is also a great visual, I think, for videos as well. Knowing the laws and rules of the road, the hands-free rule, which was launched last year, is still our number one thing that we want to focus on, because there are too many drivers out there still looking down at their phones, and that is the number one cause, I believe the number one cause of crashes between drivers and pedestrians and people on bikes. Understanding the rules of the road for passing, being aware and being respectful. So there's lots of good points in there that you can incorporate, and you must incorporate at least 2. So make sure that you really read through that submission guidelines. How to submit your videos. We have a Dropbox form. That link is in, it'll be in the PDF of this presentation. It's also on the website, and it is in the submission guideline. So you want to upload your video as well as your registration form into the Dropbox, and the titles of those files need to be the same. Title of video, school name, and just pick one student and put their last name from the form. This is really important because many years we also get videos from students and we don't know where they're from because they didn't title their video and they didn't tell us what school or what their last name. They just uploaded it and said video. So you definitely don't want to put all that work into a video and we don't know who it's from. They must be in the following formats. If you want to request another format, just email me. All of my email details are in the submission guidelines. And all the videos, of course, must adhere to all the guidelines that we talked about before. No misspellings, no commercial music, and videos must be on time. So we have a fillable form in PDF this year. So you want to go ahead and fill that out and put in the name of your school, the school address, the principal's name and contact information. Your principal should definitely be aware that you are submitting videos. And then of course, the authorized representative, the teacher that is maybe working on this project with you, we do need their information as well. Title of your video is super important. And then all the students who are participating in the project. So we have 2 different prize categories. We have freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So we really do request that you work in those age groups. If you do have more freshman, sophomore than a junior, senior, you're going to be judged at the freshman, sophomore level and vice versa. So we're going to look at where the majority of the students were who are submitting the video, and that's the category that you'll be judged in. So we want your name, your email address, and a signature letting us know who has applied. So if you want some inspiration from winning videos from previous years, you can check out our winners. This is on the roadway safety video page. These are winners from our last 2 years. Some images from, I think, Newton, I see, and trying to remember what the other schools were, but there's such great videos. So go take a look at there. You can go straight to the YouTube page and take a look at some of those winning videos. All of the details for the contest are available on the roadway safety page as well. So prizes, freshman and sophomore, we talked about that, and then junior, senior prize categories. So for each category, we have a grand prize package, a runner-up package, and honorable mention. So that's over $1,800 worth in prizes we're giving out. So we just can't wait to see what we get so we can give away some money. Again, these prizes are only awarded per video, not per student. Okay, and just for the Safe Routes to School program, wanted to share some upcoming events. We have our iWalk, which is International Walk, Bike, and Roll. That is an international day where we celebrate our active transportation of getting to and from school. We have our Safe Routes to School infrastructure launch information session. So if you're looking to do some changes around elementary and middle schools, that's something you should attend and learn more about. The annual Fall Summit is on October 29th for Safe Routes to School, and we have our second networking call on November 10th. So wanted to now do a little Q&A. I am joined here by my team. As I said, I was going to have Rachel and Leon talk a little bit about some of the things that they've seen and that we want to give a little advice on how to maybe avoid some of these videos getting disqualified. And I haven't seen the chat yet. I don't know if there are any questions thus far, if these are just all Leon putting stuff in there. Okay, so Leon, since you help me, you do a majority of the processing of these videos each year, what are some of the things that you've seen from students?
Well, first of all, thank you again for you joining us. I just want to reiterate what we've seen in past submissions that have resulted in the selection committee having to disqualify these videos. You know, it's a shame. Students work really hard in creating these videos, and we just want them to pay attention to the details outlined in the guidelines. I did drop the guidelines in the chat. The guidelines also are available on the website, on the safety video website. Some examples of what we've seen in the past, we've seen spelling mistakes. So we've seen a video with rolling text throughout the video or at the beginning or the end. We've noticed spelling mistakes. Unfortunately, we've had to disqualify a video like that. We've also noticed in copyrighted music that is being used. If it's a song that you're hearing on the radio and it's a popular song, it's copywritten and it's not going to be accepted, so the video would be disqualified. Couple of other minor things is keep your video between 30 and 60 seconds. You'll see that in the guidelines. Don't go too long. And in the previous examples of the videos that you've seen earlier where Diane showed 4 images, you'll notice that they do get branded with the Safe Street Smart Trips video contest and the MassDOT logo. That's something that we do on our end. So that is not something that you have to do. But those are just some quick tips and reminders.
And Leon, I want to say too, even though the credits at the end, because we do have some students that will give us credits, which is great, but that's considered part of your submission. And we've seen spelling errors in the credits. And then we have to disqualify the video because of that. So thank you, Leon, for sharing that. And then Rachel, yeah, Robert, well, go ahead, ask a question, and then I'll have Rachel share some information.
So I know you guys have the time limit of 30 and 60 seconds. Do you include the credits as part of that time limit or not? That's one of the questions.
I think we're pretty flexible on that. If the video is right at 60 seconds and the credits roll after that, that's okay. That's fine. Great question. So Rachel was going to actually share some tips on royalty-free music. Rachel does a fabulous job of putting our videos together every year for our annual awards ceremony. So go ahead, Rachel.
Sure. Yeah, so the website that I tend to use just so that way I can avoid all those royalty issues is Purple Planet. So I just know that that's like the main website that I like to use just to have some music going on in the background. But you don't have to give credit to those songs. So that's what I have been using the last 2 years for our award ceremony videos. And, while I'm sort of focusing on the creative side of making these videos, I always will send it to Diane to look at to make sure that I spelled everything correctly or that I didn't miss something that needed to be included. So I definitely think if you're your own editor. So if you can go back and just make sure that you covered all of those check boxes that Diane went through in this webinar, just so that way you can only have to focus on the creative side. That way you have both sides covered. Just have an unbiased third party take a quick look and make sure that you're good.
Thanks, Rachel. And, we're not endorsing that website, but I did want Rachel to share it. And if there's anyone else on the call that has any other examples of maybe royalty-free music sources that they've used, pop it in the chat, come off of mute. But I will ask, does anyone else who is watching right now have any questions about the contest that we can answer? Feel free to take yourself off mute or put something in the chat. And of course, you can always shoot me an email. I know that towards the end of the deadline, I start to get a lot of questions from everyone, and we're usually pretty good about getting back to everyone very quickly with answers to questions. But please email me at any time if you have questions, concerns, things to include, not include, and we're here for you. This is really a favorite part of the MassDOT Moving Together conference every year. And we love sharing the videos. The Secretary of Transportation loves presenting the winners. So we look forward to this every year, and we're really excited to have you all participating. Okay, I don't see any other questions. Let's go on to the last slide here. So as a reminder, if you didn't already know, the Safe Routes to School program is a program for public elementary and middle schools. Even though we do run the high school video contest for MassDOT, our focus is primarily on elementary and middle schools. So if you have any younger siblings, kids in grades K through 8, please let your parents or guardians know, or family friends, to follow us on social media. Make sure that the schools are signed up. So any of the elementary and middle schools in your communities, make sure they're a partner of Safe Routes to School. So by the time they get into high school, they're ready to do these videos and they're ready to go. So thank you so much for attending. And
Actually,
again,
sorry.
oh, go ahead. Yes.
Sorry, we have another question here.
You bet.
So on the rules, it says you have to include at least 2 of the details.
Yes.
So on the bullet points, you have main bullet points and then sub bullet points. When you say 2 of the main details, are you saying those bolded main details and then everything that's included under that?
No,
main detail?
2 sub bullet points. Thank you so much.
Okay, that was the question we had. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I knew I was going to get that question, so thank you very much. 2 of the sub bullet points. So if you
So it
wanted
could
to
be any of
focus,
those sub bullet points.
exactly. So if you wanted to focus on the Dutch Reach and do a few things from there, or the Dutch Reach and something from the hands-free law, but yeah, you can pick and choose from the bullets, the sub bullets. So
Excellent.
absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mhm. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, wonderful. Well, let me get back to our thank you slide. And again, we look forward to getting these videos and always have a good time watching them and picking our winners. So thank you so much and have an enjoyable rest of your week. Take care.